Hi, this is part two of my inner work adventure journey that I posted last week. This has been a vlog that I wanted to do so that I keep in recorded version of what I think has been a massive year of growth in my entire life. So, the last video ended with how the last 2 years of intense inner work has changed my life and rocked my world, and I ended up with telling you about how we made this massive sea change, changing state, changing home, changing school, changing every identity of our previous life to start a new life in the warmer state of Queensland. But moving from a house where we lived for 15 years, which we built ourselves with, it was kind of a dream house for my husband and a little bit for me as well at that time. Um, of course, I evolved. When I say it's not my dream home, it's I had evolved a lot more in that 15 years, and that's why I felt that it's time to like just start. I just felt right for me to just start my life fresh again. This and it felt it just felt the calling was so strong, and it just felt right for me to do it. And we made the decision, and we moved to Gold Coast in exactly 1 year back, just the day after December um, 25th, after Christmas. We basically drove into the borders here because the borders were closed until I think the first or second week of December. So we came here, and it's 1 year, and it just makes so much sense for me to keep this in record, just for me to look back, and also for any of you watching to see what massive inner work can do, and what change, like just taking the plunge to make some change, can actually shake your world, rock your world, but also uh, help you embrace the new possibilities that are available for you, which normally does not come to us if we are always staying in our comfort zone, or in the zone of the known space, in the comfort of the known space. It just doesn't become available. It's only when we step into the unknown that magic can happen. So starting off this year, of course, we moved from a huge house. It was a 4 bedroom house with rumpus and study, and two lounge and a pergola with a garden front and back. So it's a huge space. And I always wanted for our kids to live in a community where there are other kids of similar ages, so they can hang out with them and have play time instead of being cocooned inside the house. Especially this urge and this need became so strong after they've been cocooned indoors during COVID. And even post COVID, they had gotten so used to being indoors and finding their entertainment and learning and everything in with a piece of device, with their iPad or a computer or in the TV. I felt so strongly that they need to rewire themselves to get out and about and play with kids and have a balance. So we thought it just made sense to move into a space where there is a community of other kids, and that was in my heart. So I literally manifested a house right next door to the school that they got admission into, and they got admitted into a good school through online interview. We couldn't come here because the borders are locked, right? So we got the school, but it was highly in demand. Gold Coast rental property, there was a huge influx of people moving from Gold Coast, moving from Sydney and Melbourne towards Gold Coast. A lot of people realized that how much they missed the warm weather, and there's been a huge influx of people moving in. And obviously, because of that, the house rental prices went up. The rental market, the house to rent itself, was very difficult for people to get. And here I was, just thinking in my heart, God, please show me the way. I want a space like where my kids can just walk to school and come back, so they're not dependent on me to be driving to them, taking them to school and picking them up, which I've been doing for the last few years in Melbourne. So that was one of my wishes. I wanted kids to be in a community where there are other kids. And lo and behold, we found a house right, literally right next door to the school. And I was so happy. When we came here, there was a swimming pool right across. We've never lived in a community, never rented. In fact, I rented only for a year when we first migrated, and this is our second time. And I really wanted to go out and rent and have that freedom and flexibility of going and living in different houses. That was just a desire that I had, that I wanted to, that we wanted to experience. So we moved to this house, and everything has been aligned, but you we never really I never really expected what was to come when you really move, uproot yourself from a place which you've been settled for a long time, and what comes up. And oh my god, a lot of pain bodies came up, not only for me, for my husband, for my children, everything, for all of us. Although this is something we desired, this our body literally stopping us, my subconscious mind wiring in our system literally stopping us from expanding and going to the next level, because it's uncomfortable, it's unknown. And we felt like so much of pain within, which I can't explain or say it in words, about how one feels being uprooted from one place to another place. It was totally our choice, and everything that we did was according to how we needed. Despite that, that readjustment was definitely painful. So we wanted to get away somewhere to just relax and just remove ourselves from that mindset of feeling this pain of not having familiar things, familiar people, and familiar places to go. And so that was there at one side. At the other side, there was this huge craving for traveling. When I started journaling and I started thinking about what is my number one desire, what came up was to travel. Traveling was something I always enjoyed, like with my husband before we had the children. We've done a little bit of traveling, but always a lot of the international travelings, going to another country, was put for another day. We never even thought about it, although we wanted to do it. But this year, that was high on my list, and I put down saying I want to travel to the US. I put a list of all the countries I want to travel to, and I said that I want to basically travel, basically go see places in the world. And what happened was, my husband was in his business that particular month. He did a profit enough for us to, it was not his normal profit, it just doubled, like 2.5 times profit he made, which was able to pay for our trip to go to the US. So of course, as you know, you were going to US is kind of a high budget holiday, and we wanted to go. When we go, we wanted to go for a long enough time, so we explore enough spaces. So that's what we did. We went in April. We went for 5 weeks, and we covered 10 cities. Basically, we flew in and out of LA. So we went to LA, and then through from LA we did a road trip going towards San Francisco. So we saw all the places along the way, driving through the Pacific, over the Pacific motorway, where you see the mountains on one side and the ocean the other side. Beautiful view. So we went past San Diego and went to San Francisco, explored San Francisco with no, just our room was just facing the Alcatraz of the Bay Area. We went for the city tour. We went to of course, the Golden Gate Bridge, and we went to around the Alcatraz prison, and we pretty much explored everything you could in 4 to 5 days in San Francisco. And from there, we took a car, drove to Las Vegas, stayed a couple of nights in Las Vegas, then went to Phoenix, then met family, my cousins there, and together we went to the Grand Canyon. And then we took our flight to Houston, where my brother-in-law lived. So we met family again in Houston and went to NASA with our family, to NASA. So saw all that in Houston, and from Houston we flew to New York. So in New York we stayed bang in Manhattan, right next to the Wall Street, and so it was easy for us to cover entire New York, going for Liberty Statue and everything to see in New York. Then we drove to New Jersey, via New Jersey to Philadelphia, explored Philly. From Philly, drove to Niagara, and in Niagara, we went towards the Canada side and explored there. Met a friend there who lives in Canada and saw the Niagara Falls. I mean, breathtaking Niagara Falls. It's like the nature has this magic where you feel like so blessed when in some places when just the the, the magnificence of the place just makes you so happy to be alive. And I feel after the Himalayas and the Ganges in Rishikesh in India, the feeling that I got just sitting there watching the Ganges and Himalayas, just the magnificence of the place. The next place that gave me that awe was Niagara Falls. So I don't know, every time I'm sharing my story, I'm having this throat block coming up. And this is exactly why I want to share my story also. I just want to move past this, whatever is blocking me. So I just wrote it down because we went to so many places from Niagara Falls. We drove through Pittsburgh, went to Washington. We stayed very close to the White House, so it was easy in Washington, as you know, all the important places to see is pretty close by to the White House. So we explored all of that, about 3 days in Washington. After that, we flew back to LA, and in LA we went of course to the Universal Studio and the Disneyland, and the we went to Santa Monica, we went to Beverly Hills and Rodeo Drive. And we had this magical experience in Rodeo Drive where we found this group of TikTokers who were doing some videos together, and they were in a Lamborghini. So my husband and my son just goes to say hi to them just to check out the Lamborghini. And here was these people offering us to jump on the Lamborghini, asking us, saying that they'll take us for a ride. And we thought it was joking, but they really meant it. And we had this awesome experience with them where each one of us, first my husband went, then my son and my daughter, then me, and even our friend. So they basically took us around Rodeo Drive in this, full speed on Lamborghini. It was an awesome magical experience, something that we never expected to. So it's very memorable for us. So we had all these beautiful experiences in LA and spent time with lots of our extended family and friends in this entire trip. So it was the trip to US was truly magical. And we came back. So that was my kids' first term holidays. And the second term holidays, we went on a road trip to Cairns, starting from Gold Coast. We stopped in 3 places. We went to Bundaberg, experienced Bundaberg, went to the Bundaberg rum factory, explored all of that. Then went to Rockhampton, saw Rockhampton, and from Rockhampton we went to Townsville, and from Townsville to Cairns. So all of these places we explored couple of days, and then went to Cairns and stayed there for 5 nights. In Cairns, we explored the city of Cairns. It's so beautiful, very tropical, and enjoyed all the tropical fruits and seafood there. We went, took the cruise to go for snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef, and we all 4 of us went snorkeling in the Great Barrier Reef. Again, in 1 year, imagine in 1 year, we're basically seeing so many wonders of the world and iconic places in the world, starting from the Grand Canyon, to Niagara Falls, to Liberty Statue, to the White House, to the Great Barrier Reef. I mean, it's just been so quantum experience this year, and I can't tell that this is something that would have happened without all the inner work that's been done in the last 2 years. It just made so clear as to what is priority, and I've not traveled so much in my entire life, but I have done in this 1 year. Again, my throat goes blocking. Interesting. So I should be doing this more. And that was the Cairns trip. We came back again, stopping back in all these places. We stopped in Townsville again, stopped again in Rockhampton, and drove straight back home. So that was term 2 holidays. Term 3 holidays, we went to India because we had not been back to India for 3 years, right? And so we went back to India and spent time with our family and just had the time of our life, like, really bonded with our family, with my in laws, and my children with their cousins. It was truly so heartfelt, and the bonding was so much more love than we've had before. It I think we've all evolved so much in the last since pandemic in the last 2 years, that the whole experience was truly beautiful. And now we are in term 4 holidays, which is basically end of year for us. So now we are booked to go to Thailand and go back to India for a short trip and come back home. So in 1 year we have made, like, how many? We've made 4 international trips and 1 major road trip within Australia. So if this is not manifestation, what is? I mean, we wanted to explore the world, and that was my highest desire when I started writing in the beginning of the year, as to what I want to do this year, what I want to experience this year. So apart from that, other things I had as a goal for this year was I wanted to change how I saw my body, how I saw food, my relationship with food, my relationship with my self image with regards to my body. I wanted to have confidence, my confidence not tied to the shape or size of my body. This was something I just wanted to break, that block, the conditioning I've had that all women have for being a particular size or shape growing up, and having all these limiting thoughts and beliefs about how you should look, and how that is connected to how you feel, your sense of self and your confidence. I wanted to break all of that. So I stopped any kind of diet. Like, I had lost like 14 kilos during COVID, and I literally went back to the size I was when I got married. So it became really slim, but I was restricting carbs, totally carbs, on a keto diet, and I felt great being light and all that, but I also wanted to have a balance, like, I realized that I have all these, the in my awareness, in my inner work, I came to know that I have a lot of healing to do with my relationship with my food and my body. So that has been another thing on my on my list of manifestation this year, that where I would disassociate my self image and confidence from my size. And now I would truly say I've done that. I'm For 2023 moving forward, I'm having a newer goal for my body and my ideal, my dream body, but that has nothing to do with my confidence. It has truly only to do with my desire to be in a certain body size and shape and look and so forth. It's got nothing to do with how I feel as a person. So that has been another one this year. And I wanted to do my the living I wanted to have a much better relationship with my husband. So we have a much better communication now through the inner work. We've been constantly facing all the challenges, facing all the things that we had, that was not those patterns of talking, communication, and things we did, which was triggering us to have conflicts. we've really worked on all of that, and we are on a much better level in terms of how we relate to each other, and our intimacy and everything has been next level now. The third one, the other one, the last one, which was very very important for me, was to do my business from a place of ease and flow, no perfection. Here I am doing this video, recording this video when I'm having this throat block coming up, and I want to be raw and vulnerable and also be comfortable doing my business and showing up the way as I am. And that has been a huge shift. I wanted to change my mindset around that. And now I've started offering my classes again in from a space of much more ease and comfort, authenticity, and I feel so much more so much more at peace to give the maximum being an authority, like speaking from a space of authority and authenticity. That's what I wanted, without hustling, without burning out, without working so hard to working myself out. So I didn't want to do that. That's been, so this year has been a huge shift in all these mental attitudes that I wanted to have towards my body, towards my work, and my manifestations around the places we wanted to see. So we've traveled a lot than I've ever traveled in my life. Wanted a community for my children, and now they're just playing out during summer holidays, just coming back in the evening like the good old days when I was younger. You'd see kids play like that. So all of this has come true. Now that we've experienced all this, I have a whole new desire that's coming up in my heart about what I want to experience moving forward in 2023. And I've been working on my vision board for the last 2 days. I've been journaling, and then I made my vision board, and I'm going to make some the physical ones. I'm going to have some soft copies on my computer and my phone, and I'm printing out. I'm doing all of these stuff. So I will be by the way, I'm also doing a intention ceremony for next year, for to help you. It's a workshop for maximum 2 hours to help you set up the goals and intentions to kickstart your 2023 with a bang. So stay tuned for the announcement for that. Express your interest. I'll already be doing the pre-order from my website, from my school site. So I'm doing all of that, and I'll be offering a workshop to show you how to do it, because vision boardings, intention ceremony, setting goals has been a major part of making all these manifestations come true, and making sure that all your inner work is aligned with what you want to achieve has been this journey. And so this is a clear record of what has I have experienced and overcome and faced in 2022, and how I'm going to look forward to going into 2023 with all of carrying all the wisdom and learnings from all of these experiences. So thank you for watching. Comment below about what your 2022 goals and what has manifested so far, and how you're looking at 2023 to manifest all your dreams. And if you have any questions, also put in the comments below, so I would love to read them and respond to you. Have a nice day.